this weekend?
I like that we threw a lot of strikes and we played really good defense. And then I thought we were very opportunistic as an offense. Just, slow it down, take some walks, take some HVPs, some big two-out hits. But, the pitching and defensive side I was really pleased with.
Coach, from a pitching standpoint, you're able to throw some young arms out there, especially on that Sunday game. I was really impressed with McPherson, with Williams, with Grant. Did you see from those guys in that instance what you wanted to see from them?
Yeah, we did. We're trying to get touches right now. Just, the whole weekend was getting, we have a very talented bullpen. They just, the experience here at the Dew, they don't have a lot of. So, and the ones that did, Stone Simmons and Nate Williams, they've been here for 2 years, but they just haven't pitched. So getting them back out there was huge.
We were just talking about, for Ole Miss, for Hunter Elliott getting back on the mound after a couple of years, and you had a similar thing with Stone Simmons, the last remaining piece from your national championship in 2021. Just from an emotional standpoint, what was it like to see him out there and having success?
Well, for me, it was a tough one because he's been here so long. We've been through the best and the worst probably together, and I see him coming down. You can see it on the big board, and you get him out there on the bump, and he's really talented. Like as much as you hate it for the kid's personal, but he's so good. We've missed him, and to see him out there pitching good, man. I think I said in my presser, a little teared up, it's like they're like your kids in some ways, and just to see him, overcome and go out there and pitch at that level was really fun. And I just hope for a real successful year for him.
Chris, you've been around baseball for a long time. I think all of us that played as a kid remember that feeling when you were, 8 years old, 9 years old, and you set your uniform out the night before, and you just hoped that it didn't rain on opening day, right? Just let me get to the ballpark and play. What do you still get some emotions before the season opener when you get to the yard and there's bunting up and there's kind of this pomp and circumstance and it all feels new?
Oh yeah, that's the greatest part of our job. We still get all those feelings. We get opening day, we get those big Friday nights. That's the best part of our jobs. As we get to still experience what the kids are experiencing, and I still do. Man, I tell them all the time. They all act like they never get nervous. I said, man, I wouldn't call it nervous, but I get excited every time we walk out there, and especially on those big games and big nights, just like I was when I was a player or a little leaguer. The fun part about it. The good thing about us this year, it didn't rain on opening day. We got to play not one but 2 games. So that's a rare one for me. So we played a lot of baseball the first day.
Is the contrast between what Southern Miss did this weekend, where they played 4 games over the course of 3 days, and you get 3 games in, but there's a day off, and 2 of those were 7-inning games. Does that matter? Does that have any effect at this point in the season other than maybe you just haven't gotten as many reps as you'd like?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter tomorrow night, no. But I do wish. I was talking to their coach today, and, the 10-inning games, the 10-run rule games kind of killed us because I had 3 or 4 more arms I wanted to pitch, and let some guys get out there, and I had position players who needed to play a little bit more. But I understand, and it's an SEC rule. If, the opponent wants it, then we have to agree to it. So it's not a big deal. I like the opportunity for other kids to get the pitch, and I want to see them. Sometimes in those environments is the best time to get them out there, but it won't matter for tomorrow. I think everybody's rested, everybody's good. The best against the best will probably go tomorrow. So I don't see any difference.
Well, you mentioned tomorrow. You announced a little earlier Charlie Foster is going to get the start for you on the mound, another true freshman. What is he going to bring to this game, and what's your plan for this game? Is it going to be a staff game, or would you like to see him go deep into the game?
Nah, it's going to be a staff game. So hopefully he'll get out there and get a run through the lineup. Very talented freshman, has pitched with all our guys all year, and but he's a good left-hander with velo and a good breaking ball. So having that ability to mix and pitch, and there's a big environment for him. But he's a pretty recognized pitcher. He's been out there. He's done a lot in his career, and this is just part of the progress. This is part of his journey, and getting the ball open at night up here in front of a sold-out crowd will be fun. But we're going to use a lot of arms. I mean, you're going to see us. You'll probably see 5, 6 guys tomorrow.
Is that a situation where if you were playing this game against this team on March 17th instead of February 17th, you might want to see him go a little deeper, but because it's so early, you have to do it like this?
Yeah, that's right. Even next week, you may see Charlie go farther if he's the guy, because we just wanted to get him out there this weekend, so we pitched him on Friday. And, just so he could get his feet wet and get out there and pitch a little bit without the game on the line so that he'd be ready for Tuesday. So just the fact that he threw Friday, Tuesday is why you're kind of getting a little shorter rest from him. But I think as we progress, and if he's doing well, his starts will go longer.
Visiting with Chris Lemonis, head baseball coach, Mississippi State. They get 3 this weekend against the Manhattan Jaspers. Couple of run rule victories on Friday, and then they sweep the series 5-1 yesterday. Headed to Hattiesburg tomorrow. Missouri State coming in this weekend. And then kind of looking ahead, Coach, you got Troy in a midweek game, and that's a good program that Troy has.
Good program, yeah.
You got Rice, Arizona, Oklahoma State when you go out to Houston and play there at what used to be Minute Maid Park. I think it's Dakin or Dalkin Park. Anyway, whatever the name of the ballpark is now.
Right.
Each year's schedule kind of has its own personality, and maybe you have things that you're trying to accomplish in the way you put your schedule together. One, what were you trying to accomplish with this year's schedule? And two, do you kind of like the way that it builds through the first 3 or 4 weeks of the year?
Yeah, the first weekend, it's about getting your feet wet in this day and new age with the portal. Like so many new kids that haven't played at the dude. Sometimes it's hard to be the home team and run out there. So I just want them to be able to go out there and relax and play a little bit. But I made a conscious effort just trying to keep RPI where we need to be. We're playing Southern Miss home and home now. That's kind of on the plan. So we got them 2 games, and I got a true road game with them instead of a neutral site. And then, the Troy, and then I think we got Old Dominion coming, who's really good. Missouri State's picked to win their league. I think they got like 2 hitters with 20 homers. I feel like, us testing ourselves and figuring out who we are, it's hard to be great when you don't really play great teams. And so I feel like that's important. And then the big road trip going to Houston, I think those are team bonding, trying to get your guys, we all have kind of new teams in some aspect. And so letting them, we traveled up tonight for Hattiesburg, which is only a couple hours, but we wanted to practice and hang out and have roommates. And I think that's an important part right now, trying to get these teams as close as they can be. So there are some pieces there that we're trying to do. But, these are some tough midweeks. Southern Miss, Troy, Southern Miss again. So there's some tough ones out there.
Coach, we've talked a lot about your new faces. We haven't talked too much about the old ones. And let's start with Pico Khan. I thought he was outstanding on Friday for you, maybe even better than you could have possibly hoped for going into the game. I thought that he was just outstanding. What did you think of his performance? And is that something you think, hey, that's what we're going to see this year from Pico?
Yeah, I think that's what he's been. I mean, he's actually been better. Now we had 75 degrees a couple of his starts in preseason, right? So, he was mid-90s. I think he touched mid-90s in this start too, but it's the command and location and just, competitiveness. I think he's a real Friday night ace, and having a guy, a left-hander like that who's been around for 3 years, I'm glad he turned down the draft this past summer, so, getting him back was huge.
That's how it works. You get 75 in a scrimmage, and then you get, 48 on opening day.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's how it works.
I can't complain about the preseason, though. Trying to ramp your pitchers and keeping them healthy. I think every coach in this part of the country was ecstatic to have nice weather.
No question about that.